David again with a quarterly release roundup for Orchestry, this time for Q2 of 26. Q2 has been incredible for us. It's been great to build on the success of Q1 with the launch of Enterprise, further extending the value there, but also looking at core areas of the product that form kind of the spine of how people utilize it day to day, making sure that those are continuing to grow, enhance, and basically reflect what you need to do on a day-to-day basis. So let's talk about some of the biggest things. One is kind of the brand new reporting framework offered in Orchestry. This has been available now to early access customers for many weeks. And on the surface, some of the things are easy to miss, but there is some great functionality here behind the scenes. We still have the 60 plus reports available, all of that still available. But one of the things we wanted to deliver for a very long time is give people the ability to customize their own reports. So let's jump into one and make a few customizations and show you how interesting this can be. Let's jump into a really popular report like the membership details report. So the first thing we might do is, let's say we don't want to see assigned policies, owner account in this. Let's keep it really simple. Let's start with a blank slate like this. Let's even drag the width of the columns around a little bit. So now we've got our owners, members, and guest users. Let's see, what else could we add? So we can actually open this brand new column picker. And in here, we have 150 different columns that reflect data that we're collecting that you can now turn on or off based on your needs. And you'll notice that your custom metadata is also here. So if you want to light up things like, in your case, maybe you have a customer value or something like that, that can be turned on. And again, the orders can be changed. So that could be something that can give you a lot of value, is stitching that together in a very particular way. Maybe you're looking at the archival status of things and you want to bring that in, or maybe you want to search for something specific like links, right? Let's see how many total links are in this environment based on the current view that I have. So let's look at all the links and look at all these columns we have available here. So we're going to go and let's look for total link count. That's going to be what we want to look at. And let's now drag this up into a little bit more prominent area. Okay, that looks good. We can now apply sorting across columns, even across multiple columns is now supported, right? So you can actually apply for primary and secondary sorting if that's something that you want to do. Our filtering has also been significantly enhanced. So what if you want to filter by areas where particular people have access as an owner versus they have access anywhere in the workspace? Maybe you want to look at everywhere that doesn't yet have a workspace review policy. Let's add that as a filter. Maybe you want to filter by things where guests are present or not, or maybe you want to filter by insights, right? That's been a really great feature in the product for a while, but on the workspace side, you couldn't yet filter by it. So now you can actually filter by insights with just a couple clicks and really bring in the full power of the Orchestry reporting engine here into view. So let's make one final tweak here. Let's move our archival status up, bump it up ahead of the insights. And what you can now do is save this as a custom report. So this could be David's custom report, my favorite report. Let's just pretend that this is something that I want to use again in the future. And the beauty of this is when you save it, it actually gets saved permanently in a new custom reporting area, which is not only personalized to you, but it can be reused by anyone across the tenant. So this is great for multi-administrator teams that are sharing this workload day to day. They can share reports. And you can even now grab the URL, this long, very complex URL, copy and paste it to a colleague, and they'll actually be able to see everything here in the same fidelity that you've left it. So the reporting engine, from the filtering to all the new columns available to the ability to create your own reports, customize the sort order, move columns around, all of that is launched, and it's making the reporting a brand new kind of experience for users that previously were just relying on stitching together reports that Orchestry was shipping. Now, while we're on the topic of this, we've also shipped brand new reports to help, and one of them is the Workspace Review Status Report. If we have a look at that one here, we've had some customers submit tens of thousands of Workspace reviews across their tenant, and they really wanted a central place from which to monitor their status. and that is very reasonable. So we've shipped the new report here. You could generate it yourself with a custom report, but we've already done the heavy lifting here. So you could start with this and customize it if you like. And this is going to show all your workspaces that are undergoing a review, the current status that they're in, the review policy that's used, whether it's been escalated as part of the policy to an escalated person, escalated stakeholder, as we call them, or whether it's assigned to the original people. And if it's been completed, we'll show completed and the completed date, and also who completed it. This report is fully exportable, but it also contains that real data richness here that will allow you to get a better handle of, what could you maybe improve on the launch of the next cycle of the workspace review in your environment. Now, lastly, I'm going to switch over to a slightly different tenant here to showcase a really important column for multi-geo customers, and that's the geo column. So now in our reporting, we can sort, filter, and showcase for each workspace, if you want, which geo, which PDL, which data location are they housed in. And so like, if you don't want this, you could actually turn the whole column off. In my case, I really want to see it, so I'm going to keep that in there. And you can filter by this, as I mentioned here, that allows you to do a deeper dive in a specific kind of sub-geo, right? So like let's look at everything in the Australian geo and see something particular that's going on there. So this has been really important as an enhancement to our kind of provisioning on the multi-geo side. We're extending this into reporting, and the next step in the future will be making these actionable with our policies as well. Now, another really big change has been the complete redesign from the ground up of our workspace templating. This has been a feature that's been in our product and grown over time for many, many years. But the kind of the framing, the way that those features were being presented in the wizard, were starting to stretch and strain a little bit under just the sheer amount of options that were in there. These have all been reorganized. We now have a very clean display tab. This is where you control what your end users are going to see. A very deep topic matter kind of oriented area to govern the configuration of that template, from type to governance rules to automations to security. A brand new content and storage tab with 4 new functions here. In total, we've launched 8 new features, as well as just building this wizard out in this new kind of format here. So far we've heard great feedback. People find it really easy to navigate. They love the new features that have been added, like maximum owners, OneDrive discovery, restricted content discovery for Copilot, and of course the storage controls like site quoting version limits have been absolutely huge. Now, another thing that we've heard and wanted to address was around branding of email notifications. So in this age we live in, where we are hyper vigilant to phishing, sometimes this was causing false reports actually against things like the Orchestry task email. And customers were asking for more flexibility in managing what these look like. So you can actually now change the subject line, the header image, the whole footer, and that footer can even be moved up or down into the email. So if you really want that to be the first thing people see, you can do that. And essentially, this now gives you more tools to make sure that these emails align other types of communications you're sending out to users, so that they're more familiar and they have more confidence that they should be actioned and not looked at with any kind of suspicion. Now, the last thing I'll look at, which is just a great addition overall to our access control plane in Orchestry, is going beyond role-based access into attribute-based access. This is sometimes something we call data segmentation or data isolation as well. But one thing that many customers have been asking us for after the launch of roles was the ability to segregate pockets of data within the admin console to only allow certain people to see certain subsets of data, right? So this could be location-based, it could be function-based, it could be really anything where you have a potentially serious compliance obligation to ensure that even at the admin level, admins can only see certain things in the environment. And so what we've done is created a very simple but powerful rule builder, allowing you to create segments, define them in Orchestry, utilizing existing Entra groups, and tying those to existing pieces of metadata, to things that you already have in place, creating these really well-defined boundaries around workspaces. And now This can work on top of the existing role-based rules to ensure that even if someone is a Workspace admin, they can only see parts of that experience based on their presence in security groups and their ability to see things across, again, locations or other different kind of denominators that would separate the data for you. So we're really excited about these and where these are taking us. Q3 is already well underway. We're shipping a bunch of new features here just in the first couple of weeks, but we'll save those to Q3 Roundup. Thanks for joining us on this call and this review, and really appreciate your time.